Hey, my peeps. Um, Today we're playing some Super Mario World. All right, so um, this is probably my favorite Mario game. Welcome. This is Dinosaur Land. In this strange land, we find that Princess Toadstool is missing again. Looks like Bowser is at it again. I actually don't know what number in the series this game is, but it's certainly not the first. Now, the difference in graphical fidelity between this game and Super Metroid is pretty crazy. Also, Super Metroid came out in 1995 and this came out in 1990, so there's 5 years of learning how to figure out the capabilities of this. I believe this is the launch title, and Super Metroid was 5 years later. So, let's see what. Now, I've played this game a ton. It's one of the few games that I've 100% beat. Oh, I want to do but stop right there. But I haven't played it in a long time. Maybe 20 years, something like that. So, I think the game feel for this game is pretty great. And that's probably the biggest contributing factor, is how open and flexible it feels. So where it's really like what Super Mario 3 was trying to do, and which it did well, and we'll play that game sometime in the future. It's on the list as well. But this game in particular really took the side-scrolling Mario concept and just made it feel like a toy, which was extrapolated well into the Super Mario 64 game, which I talked about when we played that one a couple weeks ago. You can hold an extra item in the box at the top of the screen. So the addition in this game to your moveset, because you have additional buttons, is this spin jump here. So you can run and jump like normal. So there's a couple of buttons, right? You can left and right. They absolutely nerfed your walking speed in this game to really emphasize running and making that decision to run. So you really end up holding the run button most of the time, and mostly just not running when it's time to make precision movements, which I think is pretty interesting. So they kind of like found this balance, like a good Mario Kart game, between like Sonic the Hedgehog and the original Mario games. Holding items is a Mario 3 thing. Don't know why I thought that would work, but I figured I'd try. I might just get a game over straight up pretty early. I usually play this game pretty darn quickly. I don't really sit and explore much. I've played it so many times that I don't really have a need to, you know, spend a bunch of time doing stuff. Interesting way to teach you that those blocks spin, and you go through them. But there's something super satisfying about being able to get your running going and running back and forth and just being in the flow. Hey, your whip. Nice. Oh, missed it. So let's see, the difference between Mario 3 and this game is kind of interesting because they've got, there's a whole lot, both games have overworlds. And this one feels a lot more exploratory than Mario 3's does. Mario 3 has branching paths and things like that, but this really kind of feels like a world that you're in, whereas Mario 3's feels more like it's a game board, something like that. Yoshi! Hooray! Oh, 2 controllers are connected. 1 controller's connected. That's interesting. Hooray! Thank you for rescuing me. My name is Yoshi. On my way to rescue my friends. The music changes. What's this one? The music changes when you jump on onto Yoshi. It adds drum beats behind it. It's a pretty good effect. Dynamic music. Really makes it fun. Now, apparently writing Yoshi was an idea that Miyamoto had when they were making Mario 3, but weren't technically able to implement it on the NES hardware. So, dream come true. Better hardware. Point of advice. This gate marks the middle of an area. By cutting tape here... it's cutting tape. That's fun. You can continue from close to this point. Checkpoints. First game that has a checkpoint. Actually, these levels are much longer in comparison to previous games' levels. I like that this game also has like emergent game mechanic properties. For example, if you want to get higher, you can sacrifice your Yoshi to jump off of him. Find that useful. Obviously, Yoshi is pretty great at eating stuff. Ah! Now, this mad scramble in between getting hit, they have all these like little additional things. You know, you have a power up. You know, whether you're big or have a feather or firepower, something like that. And then also when you are on Yoshi, you have multiple chances to not die, as well as the temporary invincibility. Here's a great example of doing it my own way rather than using the blocks as provided. Alright. I died a bunch of times, but I'm already back up to 10 lives instead of 2. Doing alright. Oh! Really makes those oops kind of mistakes really not that big of a deal. I like it. The multiple chances to not die thing. Throwback to Mario 2 here. Doki Doki Panic. That's cool. Different shells give you different powers when you eat them. I've never really read these before, so I'm stopping to read them whenever I see them. When you stomp on an enemy, you can jump high if you hold the jump button. Use up on the control pad to jump high in the shallow water. Interesting, okay. All these things that I knew, but I didn't realize that they were explicitly. So that's the normal jump, but I can do that to jump off higher. I think some of those little, oh my gosh, shenanigan type scenarios where you get hit and you get knocked off Yoshi, and then you get hit again, and then your item's falling down, and you're trying to jump on Yoshi while also collect the item and not get hit by the shell that's bouncing around. I think those scenarios are some of the most awesome emergent gameplay experiences in this game. Super solid. Alright, now water. Oh, no, not really water level. Ah! No, come back! Darn it. Now, they didn't super lean into those Yoshi coins yet in this game. They play a much larger role in later games as like additional challenge structures, which I think is really smart. If you're in an area you have already cleared, you can return to the map screen by pressing start, then select. That's cool. I guess I knew that one too. Don't know how I knew that. Because I don't remember ever reading these. Or maybe I read them and it just wasn't that important to my brain to keep it in. So, interesting, the pushing up to jump out of the water thing. If you remember when I was playing Mario's... my gosh, got something dry in my throat. Mario 64 a couple weeks ago. It's like, how do I know to hold backwards to point all the way up and then jump out of the water in that 3D environment? And I remember that being difficult when I was playing it at the store, at like a Walmart or something, a Kmart or whatever it was on display. But it looks like they've got a similar mechanic here, like jumping out of the water versus highly jumping out of the water is a mechanic. And so seems like they spent time trying to translate that into a 3D environment. So there was already precedent set in this game for that, which I didn't realize before. Okay, you get bonus stars if you cut the tape at the end of each area. If you collect 100 bonus stars, you can play a fun... I think it's funny that that's supposed to be tape. To me, it was just a giant bar. All right. Press up on the control pad while jumping. You can cling to the fence. So, this game has obviously gone the complete opposite route on how to present information to Super Metroid. So I feel like in the NES, there was just no way to present information, and so we'll see some poke. 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 we'll see them, you know, use their Nintendo teaching tactics on the first level of Super Mario. But in this one, while you don't need to read these tooltips, they're definitely just placed around. I wonder how much of this came from playtesting or just a general fear that people wouldn't know how to play it. So, for example, one of Yoshi's friends is trapped in the castle by Iggy Koopa. To defeat him, push him into the lava pool. So I wonder how important it is to place those around versus crafting the level to teach you without needing that in the first place. Alright, so these scrolling levels are obviously always harder. Ah! I think these bosses are fantastic, by the way. I think they're very hard. But I think they exploit the game mechanics well. They teach the game mechanics and they use the game mechanics well without trying to make you do something not intended for the game. Like, certainly a challenge and a change up, but it's not like in Super Metroid it felt very clunky to fight bosses, just because the game is so exploration and like small combat focused rather than big combat focused. So I think I prefer these boss types to the Super Metroid boss types. So Mario's defeated the demented Iggy Koopa in Castle Number 1 and rescued Yoshi's friend, who's still trapped in an egg. Together, they now travel to Donut Land. So I'm rescuing Yoshi's friends, which I guess we can go down here to check. Right where we started. Yoshi's house. Hello, sorry I'm not home, but I have gone to rescue my friends who were captured by Bowser. Yoshi. It's got a little fireplace. Super cute. Okay, so all of these dots are yellow for the worlds. But now we have a red one. Took me a long time to figure this out. But this means that this level has 2 exits. You can win 2 different ways. And I'm going to just straight up start. Alright, so I like the cape because it's hard. It takes effort to fly around and it's imprecise. Use Mario's cape to soar through the air, run fast, jump, and hold the Y button. And I have practiced in this level more than once, but look how I've still continued to descend. And if you're really good, you can start gaining air. This. Oh, but it's not super easy. Can I just stay on one line the whole time? Oh, no. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I think the cape as a mechanic is appropriately useful without being good at it. But is just so much better if you put in a little bit of time to practice. And that's it, by the way. These are all the power-ups in the entire game. There's Yoshi as your rideable. Then you've got... I wish I could say I did that on purpose, because it was extremely valuable to do it that way. But no, I didn't. Oh, see, I just got caught in that mayhem. Wasn't able to recover. I have often wondered if these were predetermined or if they're like decided on a probability or something as you hit it, like, you know, 70% probability that it's going to yield XYZ results. Like a loot box or something, you know, just or a Genshin Impact kind of like gachapon kind of mechanic where there's known probabilities of getting any particular result. Just run, just run. Ah! That's not cool. Ah! Yeah, I feel cool. The red dot areas on the map have 2 different exits. If you have the time and skill, be sure to look for them, as subtly saying that as there's this inaccessible route right here. Haha! Landed on Yoshi right at the end. I didn't lose him. So we do not have the green switch yet, so I'm not gonna go there. So many memories of this level. The one saving grace with Yoshi is that you just immediately swallow those guys, because they are a booger when they bounce around in these close quarters and you can't really get away. Darn it, Yoshi! I loved you! Oh, you're back. No, there's no way I should know that. I just have a lot of... I've just played around with it a bunch. The green switch. Those little mini challenges feel interesting. I almost feel like those would be, like in Mario Odyssey, that would have gotten you a moon. Or in Mario 64, it would have been the basis, expanded a little bit for a star. Nintendo's really good at their little environment puzzles. Here, use the mechanics in a novel way, or prove you can do it with these XYZ mechanics or something like that. Alright, so I'm doing this specifically to get that other exit. So this level's broken. But it's also skill-based broken, which I think is the best part. Like, if you can do it, like, you can do it. It's kind of like speedrunner tactic light, which I appreciate. The game isn't necessarily broken. Alright, so I've got... would rather have firepower in this level. Alright, so... the difference between how the water levels control and the non-water levels are interesting because it's when you're playing the game normally, you you control your horizontal speed, and then you have a kind of a fixed vertical speed, depending on, you know, you jump up the same speed, and it's just how high do you jump, and that's on a variable based on how long you hold all the jumping mechanics and stuff. In this, in the underwater level stuff, your speed, your horizontal speed is fixed. Okay, so I think it's great that your firepower that dropped out of the thing is like tangible in the world now. So it just falls down in 2D space there. Gotta wait for it to fall because it falls slower than you. It's all good though. So the underwater, which was established in the original Mario game, is a good twist on the same mechanics to challenge that you can do the same kind of control but with different properties. And firepower is just so good underwater. And this you push down, now it's swapped, I'm floating upwards, so I need to push down to... Just enough to make it disorienting to play around in these levels. Woo! Let's do it again. So the previous time I was playing, I always had some form of offense, and now I'm just playing on the defense. Because I don't have any firepower, I don't have a cape or anything. I'll get a mushroom here. Gotcha. Now, it's interesting the skill that it takes to play a level like this is, I think it's more intuition and practice than it is knowing what to do, because my kid and my wife, both who don't play games as much as me, have a hard time with these kinds of like timing your jumps and timing when you're gonna push the swim button and stuff to get the effect you want. And I think that's just you practice, you get a feel for what the game is gonna be like, how it controls. And then you can translate that to other kinds of games. I feel like it's an intuition or skill that I built up as a little kid. So I'm not really sure if that's a plus or minus. I find it very satisfying to do. It's kind of a mastery thing. It's simple. I think a more modern example of this that's probably a little less skill-based but gives the same feeling is all of the nursing your stamina wheel in Breath of the Wild. Hooray! I got one of these now. Now, I find the cape to be probably the better power-up, if I'm just being objective about it. Boo. But it also adds complexity, and sometimes it's a little hard to control. It's a very satisfying poof. So I kind of wish he would bounce just a little bit more of the juice. Ah! That was close. Felt that one coming for me. Alright, now you know what it's gonna do. Now we're gonna push you fast again. Ready, set, go! Oh, oh, that was so lame. I didn't push the jump button. How do I have so many lives? When did that happen? Oof. Trying to pretend to be a speedrunner. How many things can I do? Actions per second. Dang. Hey! Oh! Oh! I walked right into that. So I think one of the appeals of Mario games is that they are somehow accessible while still also being skill-based. Like before first-person shooters became so ubiquitous, a side-scrolling platformer was really like what defined a video game being a video game, the wider cultural perception of games. And so I think a lot about accessibility, because this is kind of the area where that was pretty strong still. And remember when Mario Brothers Wii, New Mario Brothers Wii, maybe? I don't really know which one it was. The one that introduced 4 players and then you could play with people that really weren't that good at games. That was the first time that I ever got my wife to play a Mario game with me, and it was great. It was so much fun. Whenever there were problems, she could panic and push the bubble button, and then she wouldn't die. So this game in particular, I think, is pretty highly skill-based. So while I love it, and I've played this game a million times, this is one of those games, one of the few games that I just go back for comfort to. It's just so comfortable to play, fun to control. Alright, so I think I've gotten all of them. So this one, I have 2 exits out of it. This one got 2 exits out of it. The side one, I got 2 exits out of it. Alright. Donut Ghost House it is. Home of the greatest exploit in the entire game. This is a ghost house. Can you find the exit? Hee hee hee, don't get lost. Yeah. Some non-Euclidean mind poop stuff. Oh ho ho! Let's do it! Uh-huh. See what happened there? I'm in a different room than I thought I was. Alright, so if I can come into this level, let's start this level, get a feather. And then head out. So I can get the item farm. Alright, so there is this exploit, or this little bug in the control physics that you can do massive jump just straight vertically if you run while holding the cape and then do your spin jump at the same time. Woohoo! Alright, so this level is just broken. Need something? How about some firepower? Sounds great. You know, what about some feathers instead. Okay, you just leave. Oh, you already got a Yoshi? How about instead of a Yoshi, you get an extra life? Yeah, this is... I mean, it's kind of nice that it's there, because once we get into the next area, the game's difficulty kind of spikes, and it's nice to... Honestly, nice to have the extra help. Hey! So I find it interesting that the yellow blocks in particular are used as a way to excuse me, as a way to make the game a little easier. And yes, the yellow block is off to the left, it's optional, it's pretty early in the game. But I find skill-based ways of making the game easier an interesting conundrum. I think the biggest example of this is in Breath of the Wild when oh no! Is in Breath of the Wild when you are you're incentivized to go out and get all 4 of the Divine Beasts, but then when you get all 4 of the Divine Beasts, it makes the final boss easier. So then you're like, oh, but I want the final boss to be harder, because that's the level you're at. Then you don't go out and get the Divine Beasts. And I think that's a really interesting, like, trade-off that you have to make. When you're in the know. Whew, that was close. These kinds of levels do challenge my ability. Ugh, I can't get in that pipe because I'm not skilled enough. Ooh. So similar to Super Metroid, this game has very simple controls. It's simplicity in the design, and it's closer to a toy. Oh, got me! Ah, got me again! It's a hard guy. Don't get hit by the hard guy. Oh, or just die. It could just be like me and just die instead. That's a convenient way to do it. But they showed me that those guys exist early. In a fairly, I mean, safe is the wrong word, because, you know, it's dangerous. But in an environment where, whew, that felt cool. A little chaotic, but cool. Oh, not far enough. If I died, I'd be able to just restart the level super quickly, which I obviously did. Oh, I just tried to butt stomp again. I think that butt stomp is just ingrained in my muscle memory or something. Star. Yeah! To be honest, I forgot about the star power-up. You get it so rarely. I feel like in Mario Bros. 3 it was pretty common. Morton's Castle. Hop off? Go in. Brr, 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 brr. New bad guy type. That's fun. You try to duck underneath those and you slide down the escalator. I think, let's see, if you come into here, then that extra block on the right there, I feel like that's to stop you early enough that you don't panic. You can see the effects of what it does before you move on, which is, as usual, a very good Nintendo teaches you the mechanics in a safe environment kind of scenario. Now, why was that colorful shell, rainbow changing Technicolor shell, shown in that level if it was never used again in that level? Is that foreshadowing for a future level? Because later Mario games use that concept basically within a single level very often. Different level type that emphasizes you waiting for cycles instead of just the level itself shifting, like rotating or scrolling, auto-scrolling levels. Yes, I've played this level before. That's why I know where to jump to and when not to. I feel like this would be quite a bit more devious if I didn't know what was going on. Okay, that didn't work. Points. Why does this game have points? I don't know what the points represent, how they're calculated. By the way, that's how you kick things, is you turn completely 90 degrees to the side while you drop kick the wall and then you land back on your feet. True fact. Morton Cooper Jr. of Castle Number 2 is now just a memory. The next area is the underground Vanilla Dome. What traps await Mario in this new world? What will become of Princess Toadstool? Alright, this is when the game gets hard, at least I remember. Yes, please save. Wow. That was glorious. So in Mario 3, in between levels, you had kind of an inventory that you could store a couple of items in, and then choose to enter the level with that power-up. Took that away for this game, instead opting for the within a single level use of an item. Never really figured out the optimal way to get through this. Ah. It's a pretty solid trap if you think about it, because just how the blocks work, it makes it very difficult to, you know, lots of one-way options and bouncing stuff. I guess maybe the optimal way would be something like this. And then jump out of the way. Yeah, that makes sense. Darn. And here we go! That Yoshi coin is probably there to get people to jump at the right time to get off the platform and just feel amazing. Ah! Pretty much everything in this level just doesn't die from firepower. I kind of like the difficulty spike change here, and that it occurs right when you get to this new area. But golly, it is a difference. Like, I feel like this is what the majority of the rest of the game feels like, and the whole rest was just like a tutorial. But the tutorial is long enough that it doesn't necessarily feel that way. It doesn't feel like all of those levels should have just been the tutorial. And yet, here we are. Oh, hey, Tor. Hey, Tor. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you. Yeah, so if I don't push up, I don't get out of the water at all. It's when I hold up and jump at the same time that I get out. So, unlike some future Mario games, this one in particular really seems to emphasize just a small core of very well-polished mechanics. And they don't really throw a whole lot of new stuff at you. It's more like, let's just kind of up the difficulty of those scenarios. how well can you use the few mechanics you know already. Nice. Oh. Solid. Which is interesting because that's kind of my complaint against Breath of the Wild, is like you don't really get new items as you progress. The game doesn't really adapt for you that well. So just exploring the same concepts over and over and over is fun, but gets stale after a while, whereas in this, like, I guess the levels are what keep adapting to you because you more or less linearly going through the levels, so they can keep the gameplay difficulty curve fairly tight. Oh, jumped at the wrong time. Slid at the wrong time. Was not paying attention. Oh, gotta slow down. Getting cocky. So let's see. Hour to tutorial being done. That's actually pretty similar to Breath of the Wild, but I feel like Breath of the Wild is a much more expansive game. Let's see, The Witcher was almost 3 hours before the tutorial was done. 2.5, 3 hours, something like that. Wonder what my my personal ooh, slidey stairs. Devious. A little cocky, I went for it, but I succeeded. I love these bubbles because they show the background, but they don't show the foreground. Like, they supersede the foreground. Just feel very unnatural. It's a cool look. I think they're only in this level as well. Unique one-off item. Or no! No! What a horrible, horrible thing just occurred. I like the ghost levels. I wonder if their spawning is totally random, or if there's like, they're on a timer, or when you cross an X coordinate or something like that. I wonder what their spawning logic is. This is one of those times where I would probably, if I wasn't streaming, I would probably just wander back over to the previous ghost house to get a nice set of items from that hidden broken exploit level. That block's there to distract you so you don't get out on time. I know it is. right into its slimy clutches. Ectoplasmic underbelly. Yipes. That one's difficult. That one also has a secret exit. I'm gonna guess that it's probably... Actually, I have no idea. I have no idea where it is. Probably in the last room. And now you know. Do these not jump if I'm standing next to them? Okay, cool. My intuition is correct there. Bloop, 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 bloop. What? Oh, alright. They're like, haha, surprise! Dead, burn it. Oh. Did I not get the tape? Yikes. Bummer. Having played this game before, there's actually not a whole lot left about this game that's just like core mechanic wise. Like as far as studying this for the David Perry challenge, I think I have everything I need. I played it recently enough. I've got a lot of my thoughts captured here in this video. So I'm gonna beat this level and I think I'm gonna jump off. Shorter stream today, but no need to beat a dead horse. Just such a very graphic visual. Oh, I'm too impatient. I know it's probably a good time to jump off because I'm just impatient. Let's see if I can get this high block though. Yeah. I got it, but I didn't collect it. Ba-ding. Ooh. Take that, fishy. Wow. Oh my gosh. At least I start from that midpoint. Yeah, definitely noteworthy that these middle levels are, or that these levels are much longer than Super Mario 3 levels. Like if you were to play Mario 3 with this game's controls, I think that you would just feel like they're tiny. We'll validate that in the future. Good challenge, I like that. Not huge, but definitely just enough to require some precision. Oof! Yeah, telling you, the difficulty curve on these later levels is just higher. Because you could just jump off early, but if you time it, it's just so satisfying. I wonder what logic they use to, or heuristics they use, I mean, to determine when they're going to drop another power-up, pick me up a mushroom or power-up or something like that. Is that all just intuition? Do they just look where people die a lot and they're like, okay, let's just give them a little boost beforehand? Something. Alright, so that's today. Only about an hour to get a really strong feel of this game, but I also have played this game a bunch before, so don't really need to do more, so I'm gonna head out and I will talk to y'all tomorrow when we will be playing. What are we playing tomorrow? We're playing, ooh, Shadow of the Colossus, a game which I have never played, and I'll probably play it for a long time because it's, I know enough about it that it's that kind of game.